Hello and welcome to Functional Skills Maths Level 2. In this session, we'll be using formulae to find volumes and surface areas of 3D shapes, including cylinders. Let's look at the aims and objectives. By the end of this session, you should be able to calculate the volume of 3D shapes, including cuboids and cubes, calculate the volume of cylinders, calculate the surface area of 3D shapes, including cubes and cuboids, calculate the surface area of open and closed cylinders. Now, there's some underpinning knowledge that you'll need before you attempt this session. You're going to need to be able to cover BOD-mass, convert between meters and centimeters, area of circle, the area of a square, and the area of a rectangle. And you'll find these in the slide presentations represented on the right of the screen. So what is a cube and a cuboid? Well, a cube is a three-dimensional square. For it to be identified as a cube, all sides must be the same length. A cuboid is a three-dimensional rectangle. So what is volume? Well, volume is the amount of space within a 3D shape or an object. This plastic container pictured holds an amount of water, and we could calculate the amount of air the container holds or the amount of water within it. How do we calculate the volume of a cube? Well, the formula for calculating the volume of a cube is V equals L times W times H. The V equals volume, the L equals length, the W equals width, and the H equals height. But what does this mean, and how do we work it out? Well, the L, or the length, is 2 in the case of the picture on the right-hand side. The W, which is the width, is 2, and the H, which is the height, is 2. So the volume is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So the volume is 8 centimeters cubed. Now, a cube is found when you multiply a number by itself and then itself again. So the symbol for cubed is the small 3. An example of volumes of cubes. So remember, V equals length times width times height. So in this case, it would be 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27 centimeters cubed. In this next example, volume is 4 centimeters times 4 centimeters times 4 centimeters, which is 64 centimeters cubed. So let's look at some practice questions. For each of the questions below, work out what the volume of the cube would be if one side had the following measurements. Number 1, 7 centimeters. Number 2, 15 centimeters. Number 3, 28 centimeters. And number 4, 52 centimeters. So what I'd like you to do is press pause, have a go at working these out, and press play when you're ready to see the answer. Well, let's see how you did. Number 1, 7 centimeters. Well, that is 7 times 7 times 7, which is 343 centimeters cubed. Number 2, 15 times 15 times 15 is 3,375 centimeters cubed. 28 centimeters is 28 times 28 times 28, which is 21,952 centimeters cubed. Number 4, 52 centimeters, which is 52 times 52 times 52. That's 140,608 centimeters cubed. So how to calculate the volume of a cuboid? The formula for working out the volume of a cuboid is the same as a cube, although this time you'll have different measurements. So V equals L times W times H. So in this case, the height is 4 centimeters, the width is 6 centimeters, the length is 3 centimeters. Remember, V equals L times W times H. So V equals 3 times 6 times 4, which is 72 centimeters cubed. Here's a typical exam question. Work out the volume of box A, B, and C. There are 3 different sizes of box. And in the grid, you can see the length, width, and height of each box. So what I'd like you to do is press pause, have a go at answering the question, and press play when you're ready to see the answer. Did you get it right? First of all, we need to convert meters into centimeters by multiplying by 100, as there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. This is to ensure you're using the same unit of measure. So box A is 40 times 25 times 100, which is 100,000 centimeters cubed. Box B is 35 times 30 times 80, which is 84,000 centimeters cubed. Box C is 38 times 28 times 90, which is 95,760 centimeters cubed. Let's look at how to calculate the volume of a cylinder. The formula for calculating the volume of a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. But what does this mean, and how do we work it out? Well, let's look at the formula and break it down. V equals volume, pi equals 3.14, and the radius is the r. H equals height. So volume is 3.14 times the radius times the height. So now we can change the letters and symbols in the equation to the numbers. So volume in this example equals 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 10 centimeters. So that was also 3.14 times 16 times 10, or 502.4 centimeters cubed. In this example, V equals 3.14 times 4 times 4 times 6, which is 301.44 centimeters cubed. In this next example, it would be 3.14 times 5 times 5 times 9 centimeters, which is 706.5 centimeters cubed. Let's look at some practice questions. For each of the measurements below, calculate the volume of these cylinders. In number 1, the radius is 7.5 centimeters and the height is 15 centimeters. In the second one, the radius is 18 centimeters and the height is 35 centimeters. In the third one, there is a diameter of 12 meters and the height of 18 meters. And in the fourth one, the radius is 12.5 meters and the height is 33.8 meters. Now remember, the radius is half of a diameter. Well, let's see how you did. So number 1 is 3.14 times 7.5 times 7.5 times 15, which is 2,649.375 centimeters cubed. In the next example, it's 3.14 times 18 times 18 times 35, which is 35,607.6 centimeters cubed. In the third example, it's 3.14 times 6 meters times 6 meters times 18 meters, which is 2,034.72 meters cubed. And in the final example, 3.14 times 12.5 meters times 12.5 meters times 33.8 meters is 16,583.125 meters cubed. Here's another typical exam question. You need to have a total of 1,000 litres of water available for your animals. You use troughs to hold the water. The ends of the troughs are semicircles. You use the following formula to calculate the volume of water each trough will hold, which is V equals pi r squared times length divided by 2. So what I need you to do is press pause, have a go at answering the question, Press play when you're ready to see the answer. Did you get it right? Firstly, we need to convert the length to centimetres. To do this, we need to multiply 1.8 metres by 100, which is 180 centimetres. Now we can use the formula to work out the volume. So volume equals pi r squared times length. The volume is 3.14 times 19 by 19 centimetres times 180 centimetres. So 204,037.2 centimetres cubed. And remember, radius is half the diameter, which is how we came to 19 centimetres. As a cylinder is half a cylinder, we need to divide our answer by 2. So 204,037.2 divided by 2 is 102,018.6. So 102,018.6 centimetres cubed. So let's look at surface area next. Surface area is the area of each side of a three-dimensional shape. Dice have 6 sides as their cubes. Find the surface area of one side and then multiply it by 6. The formula for calculating the surface area of a cube is surface area equals 6x squared. What does it mean and how do we work it out? Here is a visual reference of that same formula. Substitute the letters for numbers in the formula. So x represents the side length of a cube and can be changed to 12 centimeters in this example. The surface area equals 6x squared, or surface area equals 6 times 12 times 12, which is 864 centimeters squared. This next example, the surface area is 6 times 10 times 10, or 600 centimeters squared. In this example, it's 6 times 3 times 3, or 54 meters squared. Some more practice questions for you. For each of the measurements below, calculate the surface area of these cubes. So the first one is 6 centimeters, the second one is 18 centimeters, the third one is 35 centimeters, the fourth one is 75 centimeters. So press pause, have a go at answering the questions, and press play when you're ready to see the answers. Let's see how you did. Number 1 is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216 centimeters squared. Second one is 6 times 18 times 18, which is 1,944 centimeters squared. The third one, 6 times 35 centimeters by 35 centimeters, which is 7,350 centimeters squared. The fourth one, 6 times 75 centimeters times 75 centimeters is 33,750 centimeters squared. Let's look at how to calculate the surface area of a cuboid. Now, the formula for calculating the surface area of a cuboid is 2 times width times length, 2WL plus 2LH plus 2HW. But what does this mean and how do we work it out? So let's substitute the letters for numbers in the equation. L equals 5 centimeters, the width equals 3 centimeters, the height equals 2 centimeters. So 2LW plus 2LH plus 2HW is 2 times 5 times 3 plus 2 times 5 times 2 plus 2 times 2 plus 3. In other words, 2 times 15 plus 2 times 10 plus 2 times 6. Then calculate the sums in brackets. 30 plus 20 plus 12 equals 62 centimeters squared. In this example, it would be 2 times 8 times 6 plus 2 times 8 times 5 plus 2 times 6 times 5. Or 2 times 48 plus 2 times 40 plus 2 times 30, which is 96 plus 80 plus 60. The answer is 236 centimeters squared. In this next example, the formula is 2 times 6 times 4 plus 2 times 6 times 4 plus 2 times 4 times 4, or 2 times 24 plus 2 times 24 plus 2 times 16, which is also 48 plus 48 plus 32, which is 112 centimeters cubed. There's some more practice questions for you. For each of the measurements below, calculate the surface area of these cuboids. So the length is 12 centimeters, the width is 8 centimeters, and the height is 9 centimeters in the first one. And the length is 18 centimeters, the width is 12 centimeters, and the height is 15 centimeters in the second one. So what I'd like you to do is press pause, have a go at answering the questions, and press play when you're ready to see the answers. Let's see how you did. So in the first example, it's 2 times 12 times 8 plus 2 times 12 times 9 plus 2 times 8 times 9, which is the equivalent to 2 times 96 plus 2 times 108 plus 2 times 72. Or in other words, 192 plus 216 plus 144. And the answer is 552 centimeters squared. In the second example, it would be 2 times 18 times 12 plus 2 times 18 times 15 plus 2 times 12 times 15, which is 2 times 216 plus 2 times 270 plus 2 times 180, or 432 plus 540 plus 360, which is 1,332 centimeters squared. An open cylinder is a cylinder which doesn't have any ends. Think of an empty toilet roll holder. Whereas a closed cylinder is a cylinder which has ends on both sides. And in this case, you can think of an unopened can, for example, soup. Well, the formula for this is 2 pi RH. But what does this mean and how do we work it out? So let's substitute the letters for numbers in the equation. So remember, surface area equals 2 pi RH. A pi equals 3.14. The radius is 2. And the height is 6. So the equation is 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 6, which is 75.36 feet squared. And in this case, it would be 2 times 3.14 times 4 times 10, which is 251.2 centimeters squared. In this next example, 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 7 is the calculation, and the answer is 219.8 inches squared. And the answer is 219.8 inches squared. So let's look at some more practice questions. For each of the measurements below, calculate the surface area of these open cylinders. In the first example, the radius is 8 centimeters and the height is 14 centimeters. In the second example, the radius is 12 centimeters and the height is 25 centimeters. In the third example, the diameter is 44 centimeters and the height is 55 centimeters. And in the fourth example, the radius is 2 meters and the height is 10 meters. So press pause, have a go at answering the questions, and press play when you're ready to see the answers. Let's see how you did. In the first example, it is 2 times 3.14 times 8 times 14, which is 703.36 centimeters squared. In the second example, the surface area is 2 times 3.14 times 12 times 25, which is 1,884 centimeters squared. The third example is 2 times 3.14 times 22 times 55, which is 7,598.8 centimeters squared. And in the fourth example, the surface area is 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 10, which is 125.6 meters squared. Now remember, in the third example, you were given the diameter of the cylinder, so that is why we have come to. So remember, in the third example, we were given the diameter instead of the radius, and we needed to halve that to get to the radius. Let's look at how to calculate the surface area of a closed cylinder. The formula for calculating this is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. What does this mean, and how do we work it out? So let's substitute the letters for numbers in the equation. So in this case, pi is 3.14, the radius is 2, the height is 6. So the equation is, in the brackets, 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 6 plus 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 2. So let's break this down. We need to calculate the individual brackets. So that is 75.36 plus 25.12, which is 100.48 feet squared. So let's look at some examples of calculating the surface area of a closed cylinder. So in this example, 2 times 3.14 times 4 times 10 plus 2 times 3.14 times 4 pi 4, which is 251.2 plus 100.48, or 351.68 centimeters squared. In this next example, formula is 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 7 plus 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 5, which is also 219.8 plus 157, which is 376.8 inches squared. So here's some more practice questions for you. For each of the measurements below, calculate the surface area of the closed cylinders. Number 1, the radius is 6 and the height is 18 centimeters. And number 2, the radius is 15 centimeters and the height is 29 centimeters. In the third example, the radius is 25 centimeters and the height is 50 centimeters. And in the fourth example, the radius is 1 meter and the height is 20 meters. So press pause, have a go at the questions, and press play when you're ready to see the answers. Let's see how you did. The first example, it's 2 times 3.14 times 6 times 18 plus 2 times 3.14 times 6 times 6, or 678.24 plus 226.08, which is 904.32 centimeters squared. In the second example, it's 2 times 3.14 times 15 times 29 plus 2 times 3.14 times 15 times 15, which is 2,731.8 plus 1,413, which is 4,144.8 centimeters squared. In the third example, it's 2 times 3.14 times 25 times 50 plus 2 times 3.14 times 25 times 25, or 7,850 plus 39, or 7,850 plus 3,920, which is 11,775 centimeters squared. In the fourth example, It's 2 times 3.14 times 1 times 20 plus 2 times 3.14 times 1 times 1, or 125.6 plus 6.28, which is 131.88 meters squared. So let's recap. It's important to know the difference between volume and surface area of 3D shapes. If you're unsure of the difference, then it may be useful to revisit this slide presentation. You may not always be given the formula for these within an exam. Try completing the questions within the workbook. Now, I can't stress this enough. It's so important to read the exam question correctly, because that could be the difference between passing and failing the exam. So now we've completed this session, you should be able to calculate the volume of 3D shapes, including cubes and cuboids, calculate the volume of cylinders, calculate the surface area of 3D shapes, including cubes and cuboids, and calculate the surface area of open and closed cylinders. Thanks for participating, and we'll see you on the next session.